Alright, what's up guys? So this is a direct follow-up from for my previous video where of course I was still talking about the AKUMA reveal for Tekken 7. Now, that actual video is no longer visible for everybody on YouTube. I put it on private. Not because I am ashamed of what I said, or not because there was a ton of dislike on that video. No, that is not the reason why. The reason why I'm doing that is because some people, right, are going to watch that first. Well, if that video was public, some people will watch it and then say, okay, this guy is stupid. I'm not going to watch the second part because I already know what he's going to say. That is why I'm putting that video on private. Now, the link for that video is in the description. If you want to watch it, you can go ahead and do it if you haven't. Some people may have seen the first video and this one, cool for them. But if you want to watch it, the link is in the description. It's still there. But I don't really recommend it. Why? Because now, again, it's not because I'm ashamed of what I said, but it's just because in that video, when I did it right after the announcement. So I was still kind of heated about all of this, and I did not give the best examples. Like somebody mentioned it in the comments. My examples were kind of extreme, but the core of the video remains the same. I still believe having AKUMA in Tekken, especially in the story, is the dumbest idea and the most stupid thing I've ever seen in a video game, like ever. And I'm going to explain you exactly why, because it only took me one night to find what was the problem. Only one night, and I'm only going to give you I'm just going to give you 1 point in this video. And I can guarantee you, nobody here is going to find somebody to counter what I'm going to say. Nobody. Now, before starting, I have to say that I'm open for discussion. If you have a strong argument to counter what I'm going to say in this video, make sure you watch the entire video before commenting. Like, this is an unwritten rule on YouTube. If you want to comment on somebody's video, you need to watch the entire thing. So that's all I'm asking. Like, if you go back on the first video in the comments, you're gonna see that I replied to almost everybody that gave me a proper argument counter what I had to say, even though they said maybe I was kind of stupid to react like that. No, I did not care. I replied to them without insult, without nothing. I'm open for discussion. So all I'm asking again is for you to watch the entire video, and then you can comment and say whatever you want. Okay, now that that is done, let me tell you why having AKUMA in the story of Tekken is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Well, they already did it. It's already too late. It is already too late. They already messed up. Why? Because it is impossible to link Street Fighter and Tekken. I repeat, it is impossible to link Street Fighter and Tekken. Now, I already see some of you guys, when I say this, will be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? This guy is so, crazy. Let me explain. If you want to link two universes, you need to establish beforehand hint or something that is going to tell your reader. Like, this applies to anything, whether it is a book, a movie, a TV show, an anime, whatever it is. If you want to link two universes, you need to implement elements in both universes to tell your reader or your viewer, look, there's a connection between this and this. That's why you have this. You need to have those elements beforehand to let everybody know there is a link. In this case, there is absolutely zero link in the Tekken games and in the Street Fighter games for us to say there is a connection between the two. Zero. I'm going to give you the perfect example of how you can implement link between two universes, or how you can link two universes or multiple universes. In the Avengers, the movie, the first one, before it came out in 2012, you had several Marvel movies that featured some of the heroes that were in the Avengers. You had Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, right? Those four had their own movies before the Avengers. And in all these four movies, they established connection, clear connection to tell us there is a connection between all of the four. And they did that because they knew that they needed something to connect both, well, all these words for the Avengers. There it is. Now, in Hulk 2008, the reboot, at the end of the movie, who do you see? You see Tony Stark. That's the connection. In 2010, with Iron Man 2, at the end of the movie, what do you see? You see Thor's hammer. That's a connection. In 2011, in the actual Thor movie, there's a connection with Bloodhawk, I think. Is it? Alka? Well, whatever it is, I don't know really too much stuff with the Avengers and stuff, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You have that, and at the end of the Thor movie, you have Nick Fury. That's a connection also. In and finally in Captain America, the first one, who do you see at the end of the movie? Nick Fury again. That's another connection, and that is not the only sole connection in those movies. They are multiples. Like sometimes the connection can be clear. You can clearly see that there is a connection, and sometimes it is very subtle. It may be an Easter egg. You can like see it if you look like in every single frame of the movie. You're gonna see something. Like that's how you link stuff, either by putting clear connections or by putting some type of Easter eggs. Now, if we apply this to Tekken, tell me, show me in the Tekken games, and when I say the Tekken games, I mean the main games, which means Tekken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Show me in those games clear connections between the Tekken universe and the Street Fighter universe. And that is not all. You also need to show me in the Street Fighter games, the main Street Fighter games. I don't know the main story for the Street Fighter universe, so I don't know. But whatever. You also have to show me in the Street Fighter universe, the main games, clear connections that tells us there is a connection between Street Fighter and Tekken. You need to show clear links beforehand. They needed to do that before Street Fighter Cross Tekken. They needed to do that before, but they didn't. Do you want to know why? Because they had no intention whatsoever to connect both games story-wise. That is the main problem, people. Story-wise. They connected both universe story-wise in Tekken 7 because of one character. Now, some of you may say it's only one character. You know, there are a lot of possibilities. But the thing is, if you connect some character from another universe, from another game, in the story of your main game, that means the entire universe from that character is also connected with your game, with your story of your game. That's what it means. And that means the story for Street Fighter, or the Street Fighter universe, is connected to the Tekken universe. Which, again, impossible. Why? Because they did not establish beforehand clear connections. It's easy to say, oh no, this happens before Tekken 1. You want to know why they say that? Because they don't have any room to implement those elements of connection between Tekken 1 and Tekken 6. They don't, because if they do, it's over. Well, it's already over because they already messed up by putting Akuma in the story of Tekken. It's already messed up. They already messed up. It's too late. They messed up. So that is why I say that if you're a true Tekken fan, you cannot accept this. That is why I said that in the first video. And you can go back and watch it. I think the first thing that I say, and also is the last thing at the end of the video, why would you want to implement a character from a completely different universe in the story of your main games? That is what I meant by that. In that video, like I said again, I did not give the proper example, but in this video, I did. So yeah. Now, I can go on for like 15 more minutes and explain to you what this means in terms of not only gameplay, but also stories from now on and going on, like from now on, basically, for the Tekken universe. Because this means a lot. There is a lot behind all of this. This means a lot. And I can also tell you how they could have implemented the Street Fighter universe in the Tekken universe, not only for the gameplay but also for the story. I can explain it right now, but I don't want to do a video that is too long, So I'm just going to stop here, and like I said, if you think there is a link, if you can find me a clear link or some type of Easter eggs in both universes that clearly tells us that they are linked, I will be willing to say that I'm wrong and that Akuma has a legitimate place in the Tekken story, meaning the Street Fighter universe and the Tekken universe can actually be connected. But I guarantee you, I am 99.9999999% sure that there are none. You want to know why? Because if that was the case, people would have found it a long time ago. And if that was also the case, people would have already told me that in the comment section from my first video. They didn't. Not because they don't know, because it doesn't exist. That's why. And that's why I say it again. Having Akuma in the story of Tekken 7 is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Because it is impossible to link both universes. Impossible. They can't. They can't. Even if they do, it's not going to make sense. And if they, I'm pretty sure they're going to find something. But the thing is, they will have to scrap something from either one universe or the other. They're going to have to scrap something in the story for both. And at the end, it's not going to make sense. That's why I said in my first video, and a lot of people were really upset with this, if you accept Akuma being in Tekken, especially in the story, that means you are not a Tekken fan. Because that means you don't understand what this means. You get what? That's why I said that in the first video. That's why. Like I said again, I did not explain it really well in that video, but I did in this one. So yeah. Again, if you can find me those elements that links both universes, I will be willing to say that I was wrong. But you are not going to. You want to know why? Because it doesn't exist. It's over. I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna do another video for this, unless you want me to do a video where I can explain you the potential things that can happen as far as story-wise and gameplay-wise for Tekken from now on. That I can tell you that, but I'm not gonna do it for the video. It's already kind of long, so yeah. I'm gonna stop here. Like I said, I'm open for a discussion, and yeah. Share this video. Find me somebody that can prove me wrong. That's what I want to see. And I will be willing to say that I'm wrong if they can find what I told you needed to be in those games in order for both universes to be connected. So that is for me. That was for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. God bless you, man. Bye.